किञ्चित् संस्कृतेनैव वदामि. सहस्रमुखेषु संस्कृतम् इति महोदयः अभिषेक् महोदयः उक्तवान्. सहस्रमुखेषु संस्कृतम् इति कार्यक्रमः कः इति अहं वदामि किञ्चित्. अस्माकं पवै मध्ये, पवै इति पुण्यस्थानमेव, अत्र अय्यप्पा मन्दिरस्य द्वयम् अय्यप्पा मन्दिरम् अस्ति. अत्र पवै मध्ये एकं मन्दिरं, द्वितीयम् अस्ति अत्र समीपे एव कञ्जूर् मार्ग् मध्ये अस्माकम् अय्यप्पा मन्दिरम् अस्ति. इत्युक्ते पवै मध्ये मन्दिरद्वयम् अस्ति. बहु विशेषस्थानमेव. शबरिमला केरला विहाय अय्यप्पं स्वामेः प्रथमप्रतिष्ठा केरलात् बहिः, केरलायाः बहिः अस्माकं पवै कञ्जूर् मार्ग् अस्माकं मन्दिरे अभवत्. Our temple in Kanjur Marg, we've got historical records for that from pre-independence era of 1945, which means it is the first Ayyappa temple outside of Kerala. Outside of Kerala, so it's a very that's not this temple, the other temple. There are two temples in Powai. Now, why am I saying this? Immediately after the Supreme Court verdict regarding the Shabarimala temple and the controversy about which Professor Vamsi ji is also following. So I've read some of his books and also some of his articles and talks on the YouTube, etc. This was the first temple where all the representatives from all the Ayyappa temples, around 50 of them, came here to this hall to protest against that movement. And one of the members of this temple movement is also one of the petitioners in the Supreme Court to change the verdict, which has now gone to the Constitution bench. Because in our country's history, if 3 judges cannot decide, then they will give it to 5 judges. If 5 judges cannot decide, then they will give it to 10 judges. So right now it's in that state Supreme Court, but we are absolutely sure about the verdict, which will be in favor of the Hindu faith seekers. Okay, I don't call it believers, because that's a very monotheistic word. Coming to this, I really want to thank IITB for Bharat, a group of youngsters, Sandeep, Abhishek, Govind, Aditya, and others here who have organized this program along with the Kerala Kshetra Paripalana Kendra Samiti. And I also thank Ayyappa Mandir, this particular temple and their trustees, for trusting us and giving us the space to conduct this program. And Sunil also already talked about Kerala Kshetra Paripalana Kendra Samiti. It is called Kerala Kshetra Paripalana Samiti, but we stand for Sanatana Dharma. And it did not take not more than 2 minutes for us to decide to co-host this program along with IITB for Bharat in this temple, because whatever he was talking about is what we are actually trying to do. Okay, so Mahodaya talked about, first of all, to me, it is an absolute surprise that an American University social science professor is talking a lot about Hinduism, okay, and is a staunch believer in Hinduism. The same woke culture is what we are seeing in Indian universities also. So wherever there are humanities department in Indian institutes, whether it is JNU or whether it is around IITs or whether it is around IIT Bombay, these are all, the migration of that kind of woke culture is happening here. But there are a group of young, spirited youngsters who are trying to defend Hinduism in the campus, and this is part of that. Okay, so Mahodaya talked about media, mom and dad, and how do we instill that culture? Somebody's question about how do we do that for next generation? We are a group of parents here who are living that culture. So we believe in 5 things. There is Bhasha, okay? So we all talk Matru Bhasha in our homes, no change Sanskrit. Okay? So Bahavaha Atra Mata Pitarha Sandhi Ye Grihe Idani Pavai Madhyeva Sanskritena Vadanti. At the end of 2024 in December, Asmagan Powai Madhye Sahasra Janaha, 1,000 people Bhavishyanti Ye Sanskritena Vadanti. This is one of our biggest programs right now. So there is Bhasha, there is Bhushan. Okay? So we don't have to wear the factory workers' dress of jeans. Okay? We can wear our own Bharatiya Vesha, and it is a statement. So when we wear the Bharatiya Vesha and we move around, people will see us, and that's a statement. So Bhasha, Bhushana, which is what we wear. Bhajana, okay? So Bhajanam is about everyday Nama Sankirtan at your home with children, however much it is possible. And we also have in this temple. So this temple is a great living example. It's a learning center for Sanatana Dharma. So There is Narayani, there is Bhagavatam, there are Sanskritam classes here every Wednesday, 7:30 to 8:30. It's absolutely free. Every Wednesday, 7:30 to 8:30, Sanskritam classes, spoken Sanskritam in this temple. Okay? And every Saturday, after Deeparadhana, after 7:15, there is a bhajan for 2 hours, and there is Mahaprasadam after that, and that program has been running for the last 2 years. So every Saturday, so please come to this temple, be part of the bhajana activity, at least once a week. So I talked about bhasha, I talked about bhushanam, I talked about bhajana, and then there is bhojanam. Okay, bhojanam is about eating together at home, at least once a day. If the parents and the children can get together and eat at home together, it's important. You talk things, and that's the way you can build your culture. It's in that conversation a lot of culture building is formed. And sometimes one of his talks, Mahodaya talks about the West is on a free fall. Okay, we don't have to copy the West. What is good for the West is not what is good for the rest of the world. We have a thriving civilization. We are the oldest civilization. The West is on a free fall, and every civilization is one generation away from extinction. It's just one generation away from extinction. So whose responsibility is to help the civilization thrive for next thousands of years? The responsibility is with us. Okay? So bhasha, bhajanam, brahmanam, bhojanam, and the last one is brahmana. Okay? Brahmana is about in my childhood, I haven't read any religious textbooks, but my parents used to go to the temple on a daily basis. Seeing that you also go. So we need to do that. We need to go to the temple, take our children to the temple, and if we constantly do that, that is culture building. That is culture building. And automatically, as they grow up, they will continue this culture. And that's what we can do for our next generation. So bhasha, bhajan, brahmanam, bhojanam, and bhushan. These are 5 things which I thought, the English version of it is what you said, but I thought this is the Sanskrit version of it. I've got so many points noted down in the last 2 hours of conversation, but then I will not range about all of that. But a range of topics have been discussed here, from California textbooks and how they have removed the word India itself. They don't talk about India. They talk about the post-colonial India. They don't talk about the 10,000 years of history of India in any of the American textbooks. But change is happening. They don't talk about the word India itself. It's only in 2016, because of people like Mahodaya and their kind of movement, that the word India, otherwise it was all South Asia. Anything good is South Asia, and anything bad is India. So that's the way it is in the US. So it's changing. You talked about propaganda movies. You also touched upon Aryan invasion, debunked the Aryan theory, how in the US universities the left and wokeism culture is thriving now, and it is slowly coming to India. You also talked about what Rekha ji is doing in Bangalore. So we are already doing that, but in a small way. So we have a Balagokulam here. And all of our children who are it's basically for children from Kerala, they also write and read Malayalam. So that's something that we're trying to teach them in a very young format here. And we want to extend that to other parts of other regions of Bharat also. And then, so Hindu parenting is very important. Some of us are living it, but this is something where it's very, very important. Otherwise, we will just lose all this. And as Mahodaya said in one of his earlier talks, we are just one generation away from an extinction of our civilization. So thank you, IITB Bharat, Kerala Kshetra Paripalana Kendra Samiti, this temple trustees, Saurabh Mahodaya, who for coming over here, and all of you here who have come over here to attend to this conversation. As Sunil said, 50 people is what we have, 50-55 people. But that is good enough. If each one of us can be proponents of our Hindu culture, and the book is all about rearming India. So please get the book, read it, and then please keep coming for our programs like this. Dhanyavada. We have the temple Deeparadhana that is starting in under 5 minutes. So please go, please visit the temple. Who were not come here before, see the Deeparadhana, and then we can discuss. Thank you.
धन्यवाद प्रसाद जी.